Okay. I can share the presentation after if you want me to. Okay. So a points-based system is the starting gate for a learning environment that encourages engagement rather than penalize failure. So that's gamification. So I'm not talking about playing games. It's just part of it, playing games. But your lessons can be turned into a game, and your own methodology can become a game. That's gamification, and your students are going to be thrilled. Okay, so I think the teacher that questioned me before has left, but let's try to, to clarify this too. So motivation, where's our motivation, right? We want our students to be happy, success, hooray. So, you know, the bottom of the pyramid here is just the physiological aspect. But on the top of the pyramid, you have the acceptance of fact, we have problem solving, we have creativity, right? So gamification is on the top of the pyramid because you have status, achievement, self-expression, competition, and altruism. These are all higher order values, higher order thinking skills that you can promote in your classes. And that's brought through gamification. Okay? Can I move on? No? Not yet? Okay. The point system. So your subjects or your students, they acquire experience points. Everything you do adds up to your cumulative point total in the end, right? So everything you do allows you to calibrate the relative values of actions by the user by awarding more points to the tasks you want to incentivize, the tasks that you did, that you redeem, that you deem as more important, right? So you think, okay, this is important, I'm going to give more points for that. You're always moving forward, never slipping back. The reward activity, effort, assiduousness, not purely the achievement per se. So you can reward the activities, the effort of your students, how many times they come to class. So it's not just the points. You can earn points by socializing. You can have your students earning points in your system by creating a profile online on your Moodle platform, right? On your website, on your blog. You can have them earning points by posting photos, completing the units, playing games, posting comments, and etc. so on and so forth. Winning badges, right? So then you have a point system, right? So you got 44 points, then you have the ranking for the points they acquire, and they're getting points by all those tasks, right? Not just the task, the evaluation. They're getting points for many things, and you can add more spice to it by making it collective. So you have the achievement, total class attendance. Think of a large class. For example, you're a class, right? So you have like more or less 15 people, 20 people here. So if it involves who? All the class. Who is involved? All the class. It's unlocked when everyone comes to class. So if I was expecting 20 people here, if one was missing, you would not get the point, right? So you would not get the extra point. So that's how it works, right? Total attendance, that involves only one student. So if you're not getting penalized for your classmates, if you come to all classes, you still get your points because that's the achievement. It doesn't involve all the class, just you, right? So you have many ideas here. Homework, so you have an individual task and you have a class, an entire class achievement, right? And they get an extra point. So it's a great idea. It's a great tool for you to engage your students, right? And it's a game. They want to get more badges. Talking about the badges, guys, it's crazy. I have to share something with you. I have downloaded this beer app. I'm a beer fan, you know. Who here likes beer? I do like beer. I'm a beer fan, right? And for those of you who don't, I strongly suggest you download this app because you're gonna like beers after that. It's called Untapped, and it's a beer app, but it's gamified. every apps, they usually gamify everything. So they're gamifying beer. So whenever I go to a beer place and I order a beer, I can look up the beer that I'm having, and by checking in, I get badges. So I have already gotten 7 badges since I started the app. It was 1 month ago. So I got the beer connoisseur, I got the 99 bottles, many, and it's fun because every time I get a badge, I feel like, oh, I got another badge. It's totally useless, but still, like, middle of the road, and then you find it. What is it about? Okay, so you're looking for more than the session beers, blah, 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 blah. So they explain what's it all about. So that's, it brings you the sense of accomplishment, right? The badge. So rewarding your students for what they do, for their accomplishment. And you have many ideas for badges here, right? So you have the writer badge, the music fan, the bookworm. Let's suppose you have many students in your class and you want to reward each one of your students. So you can come up with one badge for each of your students, right? So they're gonna get different badges. The badges are visual representations of a skill or an achievement, right? Something they do. You can have the teacher's pet, the Smarty. It's not an end in themselves, but useful as a social update or social proof, because it shows my colleagues, my classmates, that I can do something well. Okay, got the idea behind the badges? Okay. Good. So, and design. In this case, design really matters because your badge, the badge you create, has to represent visually what the badge is about. So you have this Smarty. Why not putting some glasses on it, right? You have the writer. Let's put a pen on the badge, right? So you can come up with different styles for your badge, right? The badge needs to bear a relationship to the content and to the desired actions, right? So you have to come up with good badges. For the beer app badges, for example, you have the beer connoisseur. Okay, so I like to know that I know a lot of beer, right? So it's something that makes you feel well and something that keeps you going, that wants you to use the app more and more and more, right? Okay. So the leaderboards, right? So it's really important to have the ranking for your students. So it's not only about the achievers, but also about the killers, right? Also about the socializers. All the profiles benefit from the leaderboards because we have everyone there and they can keep track, they can know where they're at, and they can pursue the higher goals, right? Socializing matters. You can make leaderboards relative to your social framework of reference. You see leveling up as achievable and personal. So it's an individual task, right? So going up, moving up is only up to me. It's up to me. I can do better. I can study. I can dedicate more. And by doing such, I'm going to move up on the leaderboard. Okay? Good. So those are all the elements of gamification that you can incorporate to your classes today. You can come up with your gamified classes today, right? The levels, right? So I brought the Pokemons here again. So you have the evolution. So according to the points, you get an evolution, right, of your creatures. And you see, you need more points, more and more as you go up. So it's very easy to move up here in the beginning, but it gets more and more difficult as you go. You need more points. You need more points, right? So it gets harder. That's the challenge that you have as you go, right? So you can unlock the levels as you go. So make early level progress easily achievable. Staggered increasing difficulty. As with points, progress reflects effort and persistence, not pure proficiency, right? It rewards our students for their accomplishments, not for their proficiency or for their fluency, but for their individual, for their effort, for the individual effort and their achievement. Okay, so the social networking aspect, it gives conversation an anchor, content, so you can talk about the same topics. You can all be on the same page, right? So you can share your ideas socially on a social environment that makes everything easier. You know, think of your lives, think of WhatsApp, and think of how it has made your lives easier, right? Communication easier, and that's what we want with social networking in our classes, to make it easier, right? It facilitates, it makes easier friend making, right? So you can make friends more easily by socializing, by participating in social networks. And it allows personalization, right? So you can give your opinion, you can say if you're pro, if you're against, anything on the social environment. And it gives friend-making status, badges, rewards, trophies, etc. Many apps rely on that point award system, right? As you go, the more friends you make, the more points you're gonna get, right? The more beers I have, the more badges I'm gonna have. So that's a good example, right? So you get yeah. The stickers, oh man, that's insane, right? Yeah, man, you're talking about that. My friend, he was just here, he just left, and he showed me his album, and it's kind of, they kind of exchange stickers, and they have a forum. There are some, everybody, all over São Paulo. Yeah, there are some socializing. There are some like bars. Yeah, it makes, yeah. So it's a very good example. Actually, I haven't thought of that, but it's a great example of how socializing, yeah, World Cup soccer, definitely. So it's all about socializing, right? And he
told me Italy is not in it this year.
Didn't you know? Yeah.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
They're out.
So, and still people are buying the album. Oh man.
United States not in the World Cup.
Are you American?
I'm Canadian.
You're Canadian.
And basketball.
Yeah. So that's your thing, right?
Raptors and the Maple Leafs.
Maple Leafs, yeah. Toronto, right?
Yes.
I've been there. Okay, so yeah, so it's a good example. Anyone has another example of how socializing works? So that's a perfect example of how you can make things more interesting by making it social. Sticker album. Okay, so the letter grade distribution, right? So with games or with gamification, you have, you know, more people. You have more people with the A concept, as opposed to without games. You have less people. It's more. It's less even, right? So you have more people doing well with games. And without games, you have just like 35% of A students. No problem. You have only 35% of grade A students. While with games, you have 80% plus, with or 75%. So it's a quite an improvement, right? And it's something that is really beneficial. Okay, so this is a very simple example of how you can gamify speed writing. So a teacher has come up with this model for speed writing awards. So he wanted his students to write more. So he came up with a very simple writing task in the end of every class. Every class, his students would write a short paragraph, right? And he would analyze their students by creativity. He would award his students by creativity, originality, accuracy, and many other factors, right? So you can see the improvement here, right? So students, they improved after the teacher has incorporated speed writing leaderboards, but there's a tendency of decrease in time, so it doesn't last forever. Gamification is supposed to last for a short period of time. It's not supposed to take over your entire semester. It's just a short period of time, because students, they get bored and they kind of lose interest. Even for games, they lose interest. So it's common for participants at lower levels, you can see here, lower levels in Leaderboard, to become demotivated. This happened and can be seen left. Okay, so these in red, these in red are low-level students. 5 out of the 13 learners started to feel that writing a lot didn't really matter and that they could not catch up to the others. So they were kind of demotivated. Then the teacher saying, I tried to help counter this by making more than one way of winning the game. To some extent, adding achievement badges. Right? Help do this. And those learners who had lost interest started to participate with enthusiasm again. Towards the end of the term, though, the same learners and one more, you see Marina here, has started to lose interest again. So I did not continue the speed writing in the second term, right? But it works for a while. You could get students to write more, right, to practice their writing in the end of the semester, because you gamified writing, right? So we came up with badges and the leaderboard and a point system. You see the levels, so it's kind of a valid experience too. Gamifying storytelling. Have you ever seen those Rory story cubes? Who here has seen that? Have you seen that? It's amazing. It's a great idea. It has an app and it has physical the dice, right? It has the dice. So you throw or you roll the dice, and you're gonna have you know, an assortment of images, and then you can make your students come up with a story involving all or as many elements of the dice as they can, right? So, for example, here you have a crown, you have a boiling pot, you have like a skull, a pirate skull, you have a helmet, and many other things. So, once upon a time in a land full of mountains, next to a river, there lived a group of pirates who wore helmets with horns on them. One day, the king of the pirates set a quest for the others to find the mythical giant tree octopus. The prize, he told them, would be a golden cup. Wow. And the pirates would also hold a party and cook the tree octopus in the special silver cooking pot. See, so you have to come up with a story. So I'm going to try to show you a video. I don't know if it's going to work, but about the how you can gamify writing and even storytelling with your students.
Once upon a time, in this story of mine.
Yeah, no videos for today. Yeah, whatever. So computer should have mine here, but no problem, because you got the idea, right? So you roll the dice, and the thing with the video, it can involve from children to adults. Everyone can participate, and it's interesting for everyone. So you can look it up. It's called Rory's Story Cubes. It's sold on bookshops. I think you cannot find it here in Brazil, but if you happen to travel abroad, you can look it up. Definitely, I met one teacher in Santos, and he said he could find that in London. So maybe if you're traveling there, or to the US, probably you're gonna find it, or you can order it on Amazon, or you can even download the app. Right? So you have many ideas, and this is a gamified experience. You can award your students for creativity, for accuracy, for whatever you want. Another idea to gamify speaking. You have this game. It's a flash-based game. The website is here, Pencil Kids. Remember I mentioned that in the beginning of the presentation. Pencil Kids Droppy Game. It's basically a game of cause and consequence. So there's a situation. So the main character called Droppy, this little fellow here, and his friend the horse, they get in trouble. They're in trouble. So you have to find a solution on the screen so that they can get out of trouble, right? So it's very simple. You can look it up. It's a Flash-based game, and you can come up with activities involving those games. I got this idea from demandhighelt.wordpress.com. The website is here. I got this idea of gamification from the website. Okay, so first they get. You can see the. Okay, I hope you haven't seen the picture. So what's happening here? Can anyone help me? Yeah, sure. The cactus, the horse. Well, yeah, even the Giza pyramids. Yeah, probably Egypt. But you don't have to go that far. But yeah, the pyramids and all that. So many details. But the bottom line here, they're thirsty, right? You can assume they're quite thirsty because of the scorching heat, because of the sun. So that's the problem. That's the main problem. So and you want to have your students talking. So how can we solve that problem?
Put a McDonald's beside McDonald's right beside the pyramid.
No way. Is that true? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, instead of the McDonald's, we could try. Maybe you could try what? Burger. You could try Wendy's. No, we could try. So what happened? You can ask your students, and then they have to elaborate. They have to. What happened? Can you? Yeah, they're closed. They found water. Yeah, and that. Yeah, and that. Yeah, they found water. So that involves that. They cut the tip of the cactus, and the boy is wearing it as a hat to protect from the sun. So it's a good solution, and you want to have your students talking about what they know, and that involves the previous knowledge. Of course, if they know about the McDonald's, they will come up with that, and if they know about the Giza pyramids, they're gonna say that, and if they know there's water inside of cactus, that we don't have many cactus here, but children usually know that because of biology, because of their yeah, we know that. It's common sense, right? So they found water. Good. Oh, you probably know this reference here. You watched the movie. It's from the 80s. I watched the movie like at least 3 times. It's on Netflix. It's Indiana Jones and the Golden something, Golden Skull, right? So what's happening here? What's the problem with this? So you want to get. This is Droppy. He wants to get to the golden skull, right? The golden skull. But there's a big hole. So how can you go across the hole? Oh my God! So what happened? He jumped, and then he got the skull. But as he removed the skull from the support here, a big rock rolled down, and now what's gonna happen? So you want, okay, I'm getting carried away here, but you want your students to come up with the ideas, right? So what happens next, right? And that's, you can find the idea for the presentation on this website here. I don't know if there's a slide share presentation. And like I said, I can share it with you, right? So describe the 5 images to your partner so they can pair work. Can you explain to your partner what has happened so they can work in pairs? And you can evaluate their creativity. You can evaluate their accuracy and etc. So, good idea, right? In summary, guys, gamification can help to encourage students to do something they don't want to do, which is learning, right? Or to do something they think they want to do, because everyone can feel good. They can feel very satisfied when they learn something, but they just won't realize it. So we have to make them realize it, right? And by doing that, they're gonna be happy. I don't know if the video is gonna play, so I'm just gonna read it for you. There is a school, a middle school in the United States, in Chicago, right? Not far from Toronto. It's called ChicagoQuest. Middle school where board games, card games, Minecraft, and Portal all make space for students to learn. And you know, we have this avenues thing coming to São Paulo. We have this concept school, and they all rely heavily on game-based learning, right? So it's a trend. It's designed to build competencies in the 21st century skills such as problem solving, creativity, collaboration, and resourcefulness, based on research and the practice that support the use of digital media, game theory, and design principles to support students' engagement in learning. Let's try the video. I don't know. None of the videos work today. Yeah, this one appears to be working.
All right, focus. What we're going to do is we can get into Portal again. We're going to make our own levels. I'll give you guys about 20-25 minutes to do that, and then we're going to take a quick rotation, and then everyone's going to have to solve each other's levels. One of the biggest challenges I've had is we're trying to get these kids to think outside the box, but you know, they're coming from environments that have kind of drilled in this academia to them and have like almost taken the fun and the curiosity out of learning. They have to come over here, hit the button, drop that, bring it back over, right? So see how you can like work backwards a little bit? And what we're trying to do here is just really put that back in and create spaces where kids can have fun and kids can be curious and kids can make mistakes and you know, create that safe place for that. Because a lot of these kids are coming from high stakes environments where, you know, if we're not hitting these test scores, you know, our school's gonna close down. You know, that's a lot of pressure for a kid. You know, that's a lot of pressure for anyone.
Yeah. So ChicagoQuest, right? So look it up if you want. Making school a game, right? So see, it's a brand new concept. So you can watch it online. How games can be used in schools. Nowadays, we have even partnerships with Lego. So have you seen Lego for schools? They even have like a sector in their company that's dedicated to for education. So it's dedicated to promoting education through Lego, through games, through Minecraft. They have Minecraft for schools. Students can create ancient cities using Minecraft. So that's crazy. They can create geometrical forms and patterns using Minecraft. So using a game, right? So you're teaching through games, game-based learning, right? So games used to produce an artifact, be it another game, a model, visual text, written text, you name it. Game-based learning benefits. It's most effective when students are not aware they're learning, so it's subconscious, right? As they're too busy concentrating on the game itself. It can encourage interaction in the classroom, right? So socializing, that's the best. It gives students repeat practice opportunities, so they have the chance to practice over and over and make mistakes, because making mistakes is an important part of learning. We tend to forget that. We see mistakes as something to be avoided, but actually when they're playing games, making mistakes is only repeated practice, right? Find out what games students are already playing to get idea of types of gaming and interaction they're used to, and what techniques they will respond best to. It can encourage online collaborations with students that wouldn't normally work together outside of classroom online. Can be used to reward many things like collaboration, creativity, progress. So not just rewarding in regards to answers being correct or not, or accuracy, so to say. More images used instead of illustration to provide real-world connections. Games are the new worksheets. Oh, look at that. That's powerful. Games are the new worksheets. So get rid of those papers that they will lose and they will, you know, throw away, and just give them games, because those are the new worksheets. Okay, there are some risks, of course. So the teacher confidence in adoption of technology, because most of those rely to some extent on technology. So you have to be more familiarized with technology. Having the access to technology can be a problem too. Time is also a critical factor here. Fear of a new platform and the disappointments that could come with that. Not many grouped together support resources available, so it's scattered. And I've grouped up some resources in the end of the presentation, so bear with me for just 2 more minutes. I'm going to show you the website so you can look up more ideas, right? Research shows that boys are more competitive while girls prefer social collaboration, so there's a gender gap there too. Girls are 45% more likely to opt out of competition than boys, who are more likely to just give it a go. So boys will be boys. Yeah, the hormones. Yeah.
And in the male, it's cholesterol.
Yeah, totally. So that's a physiological aspect that kind of affects our teaching learning experience, right? These are the websites I promised. So if you want to, it's not much, but you have the QR code here if you want to take pictures, and you have the websites listed. Nick Peachy, this gentleman here, has written many articles on game-based learning, gamification, SmartKit, Matchimp.com. So these are just some ideas and some reference websites for you to keep on learning about the subject, which is non-exhaustive. So I hope you at least learned a little bit, the basics. That was my objective here today, right? So feel free to take pictures, and when you're done with your pictures, I can call it a day and give you the game over sign just to keep the reference. Thank you for your time and your attention. First, I would like to know if you have any questions, comments, doubts. I just want to leave, right? But nonetheless, if you feel more interested, if you want to have a chat later on, just have my my contact information here. Like I said, I work for Macmillan, and it will be a pleasure to carry on this conversation later on. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a good time. Okay, so thank you. Yeah, thanks.